to the world's #1 green reading system that's taken over the world of golf. Aimpoint Express.
Aimpoint Express is a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Aimpoint Express is teaching golfers how to be expert green readers in weeks.
Anyone can learn Aimpoint Express. It's not just for the pros.
Created by amateur golfer and software developer, the mastermind behind this game-changing technique is Mark Sweeney.
You probably heard your whole life that green reading is a God-given talent and that either you have it or you don't. You probably also heard that it takes decades to be a great green reader. Well, Aimpoint Express is going to prove all those statements wrong.
Its method has been adopted by golf professionals worldwide, including the top men and women players in the sport.
It's allowed me to trust my reads more, and I really understand different types of greens, different types of hole locations, and I've won 10 times in the last 3 years, so I think, that's the proof in itself.
But their secret to successful putting is really no secret at all, as Mark's expertise has been taught to thousands of golfers of all skill levels, from the pros to the beginners, dramatically improving their putting game.
It can take a golf professional up to 20 years to be an expert green reader. With me, it only took a matter of weeks.
Aimpoint Express teaches you the fundamentals for understanding and assigning a value to slope to predict how much the ball breaks in every situation.
Green reading is a skill that you can learn regardless of your experience or ability. And with my training, you'll benefit from 10 years of research, simulations, and hands-on experience to read putts of any length on any green as good as the pros.
Originally conceived as a groundbreaking, real-time greens predicting software for live televised tournaments, Mark has earned an Emmy on his way to changing the game forever. And now, this revolutionary system is yours to master.
You'll be able to adjust to changing green speeds and ignore optical illusions that fool even the most experienced golfers. I've taught thousands the secrets to reading greens, from beginners to the best players in the world, and now I'm going to teach you too. The first lesson we're going to learn before we get into the express read is what causes break. To help us understand that, Maggie and Justin, we're going to help us putt and understand as students what it's like to go through the read. Break is very simple. The ball breaks because it's tilted sideways. The more it's tilted sideways, the more it breaks. So our job as green readers is to put a number or a value on how much side tilt we have for any putt. Once we do that, we can convert that number into a visual picture of how much the ball moves for any putt of any length. To demonstrate this concept, we're going to putt a few balls across different amounts of slope so that you can see the amount of side tilt has a huge effect on how much the ball breaks. So if you guys want to come with me over here, we'll hit a few putts. So this is the biggest amount of slope on the green, and we're going to see the most amount of break. So that ball broke a lot and turned very fast because there was a lot of side slope. You notice where that line stops, guys? It stops when it's pointing straight down the fall line. Now we're going to move down the slope where there's less side tilt, and we'll see less break. So clearly the less side tilt, the less amount of break we got on that putt. All right, now Justin, I'm going to have you hit the ball, and what I want you to pay attention to when you put it down is how much side slope you feel in your feet before you putt it.
Okay.
All right. Clearly there you're tilted a lot to your right side, aren't you? And the ball is also tilted a lot to the right side. Okay, let's see how fast it turns.
Good.
Really good now.
Oh, wow.
Good. And that ball broke at least 5 feet.
Yeah, at least 5.
With that much tilt. Okay. The important thing to understand is we're only feeling side tilt. We're not worried about up and down tilt, which changes the speed of the putt. We're focusing on break, which is caused by left to right or right to left tilt. So sometimes on the green you'll feel like the putt is uphill or downhill, but that's not causing break. What causes break is the sideways tilt of the ball. So that's what we're going to spend our time learning, and that's also going to lead us to understanding how much the ball breaks. Now we're going to actually put a value on how much tilt. So we can feel the tilt, but we need to put a number on it if we want to get the proper break. What we're going to do now is really the foundation or the primary skill for our green reading, which is feeling slope and putting a value or a number on how much slope we feel. I've marked out on the green slopes from 1 to 5%, and the way I did that is I took a digital level, set on percentage of slope. It's not on degrees, it's set on percent. It's very important. I don't necessarily need this as a player, but if you want to train yourself more efficiently, you'll want to get a digital level with percent of slope and use it for training. And I simply found spots on the green that match those numbers. And what we're going to do is we're going to stand on each one and just associate that feeling with a number. So then we'll have our foundation to be able to start applying this to putts. So we're each going to stand directly across it, and the key is to keep our knees softly bent and let yourself go with the slope. We don't want to lean into the slope. 2 or 3 seconds maximum, and then we're going to switch to the next number. And each one will feel a little bit different. You guys want to jump through? Maggie, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start at the 1.
So stand on top of it?
Yep, just stand across it. Just spend a couple seconds. Feels very level.
Uh-huh.
Just a little bit of tilt towards
Yeah,
me.
a little
Okay. 1 is a very subtle slope. If we had a 0 slope, there would be no tilt at all. But a 1 is a very subtle slope towards me. Okay, just a few seconds there, then we'll move on to the 2. 2 is still fairly gentle slope.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now the key is we want to move fairly quickly through these. If we stand on the slope for too long, our body will start to adjust and equalize the pressure, and the feeling will start to dull. So we want to feel it really in the first 1 or 2 seconds. 3 will start to jump out a little
I can feel
bit.
the slope. Yeah. It's getting steeper.
Okay. Okay. Now be sure when you're standing there not to straighten your legs. Now be sure to bend your knees softly. If you lock your knees out, if you make your knees straighter, you're not going to feel the slope as well. We're only going to feel in our feet.
Yeah, I can't feel much when I'm straightening my knees.
Well, if you just bend your knees softly, your quads will engage and you'll feel a difference between the two. Does that
Yeah.
feel stronger?
Yeah. Is this good?
That's perfect posture there. Let's move on to the 5. And that's a pretty severe slope on a 5. 4s and 5s are a lot of slope. Most putts are between 1 and 3%. We'll get 4s and 5s and even higher on longer putts. Right? Justin? All right. Now you can hold your putter any way that's comfortable for you.
Okay.
What does the 1 feel like to you?
Just a little bit to the left.
Just a tiny bit, right? Okay. You feel a difference?
A little bit.
If it feels really subtle, go ahead and close your eyes for a second or 2, and that should turn up the volume a little bit or amplify the feeling. Feel stronger?
Oh yeah, you really feel yourself falling more when you
Right.
close your eyes.
Okay. The 1s and 2s are subtle. 3 should start to pop out a little bit. Do you feel a difference between 2 and 3?
Not much of a difference.
Okay. If they don't feel much different, what's happening is you're leaning into the slope. He's not lining up level with the slope, he's leaning into the slope. So his body is trying to equalize the pressure. So we have to make sure we're kind of going with the slope or falling with the slope. So go ahead and let your body just kind of fall with the slope as if you were almost chipping downhill. And you should feel a lot more pressure on your left leg. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much different. That's better.
Feel a bit stronger?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's try the 4. 4 is starting to become a lot of slope.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. All right. 4s and 5s are very severe slope.
Really severe. Yeah.
Okay. Typically, we won't get 5s unless we're on long putts. You rarely get 5s inside 20 feet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, now we're going to take what we've learned about putting a value on the slope, and we're going to start applying that to short putts, which is the foundation for every putt we read.
When reading slope, be sure to bend your knees softly. Get your read within a few seconds or less. Stand up straight. Measure slope in percentage, not degrees.
Now we're going to take what we learned about feeling slope and we're going to apply it to actual putts. We're going to start on short putts, which are defined as 3 to 6 feet, and we're going to learn how to feel our slope number and then convert that to a visual picture of the ball. So our process is we walk in and put our toes at the ball, and we feel our number there. We don't want to be in front of the ball, and we don't want to back up behind the ball either or overread the putt. To get the most accurate possible read, toes right at the ball. The other common mistake is people stand with their feet way too close together. The more close together your feet are, the less you're going to feel the slope. So try to think of it where you would put your feet in hitting a wedge shot, about hip width apart, or if you're more comfortable, you can even go wider than that. So Justin, Maggie, if you guys want to step in, put your toes to the ball, and tell me what number you feel.
I feel like a 3.
Okay? Justin?
0.
0. Okay, on short putts, typically you'll get between 0 and 4 at the maximum, but there are zeros. You'll have several spots where you'll feel no side slope at all, which will be straight putts, obviously. You'll also start to feel uphill and downhill as you do this process. So we're not focusing on our uphill and downhill, we're only focusing on our side hill number, okay? Now, if you guys could move 2 balls to the right. Okay, now Maggie, what do you feel over there?
2, 2.5.
2, 2.5. Now you can also go in between numbers. It doesn't have to be 1 or 2 or 3. It can be 2.5. It can be a little more than 2. It can even be a strong 2 if you want. Now, what we're going to do with that number is we're going to convert that to a visual picture of how much the ball breaks. So a 1% slope, you line up your finger on the center of the hole. On 2, 3, and 4%, you line up on the lower edge. 0.5% is your pinky on the flagstick. 1.5 is your thumb. And this is 2.5. So that'll dial in your accuracy a little bit better on these short putts where we want to be as accurate as possible. So whatever number you feel, I feel a 3 here. I'm going to hold up 3 fingers, and I'm going to line up the lower edge of my finger to the lower edge of the hole. So I'm covering the entire hole, and I'm aiming on the other side of my finger. So on a 3, it gets me aiming about right there. So Maggie, what do you feel at that spot?
2.
2? Okay, so hold up 2 fingers. Line up your finger on the lower edge of the hole, down here, and tell me where the other side of your hand is.
Around left edge.
So your aim for that putt would be left edge. Do you want to go ahead and putt it for us?
Yes.
Good. Now what would happen if the putt was longer? If we went out to 6 feet, and you did 2 again, where will your aim be now?
It's a little outside.
It's outside
Half
the
a
hole
hole
now.
outside. Yeah.
Right. So the farther we go from the hole, the more break we're going to get with
Yeah.
any given number.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, Justin, you felt a 0 there?
Yes.
Okay, where would you aim 0?
Straight in.
Okay, let's hit that one straight in. Good. Okay, so if there's no slope, there's not going to be any break, so we hit the ball straight in. All right, now that we understand the process, we need to practice this to build up an association of feeling slope and learning where to hit it. Now, you guys ready to hit some putts?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
Walk in, feel your slope, get your picture, and then turn and hit it. Okay?
Feel a 1, 1.5.
If you're not sure, it's safer to go for the higher number.
Okay. So I have that just right edge.
Good. Definitely was stronger than 1, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's about 3.
3, okay.
So it's about a ball out from the right.
Okay. Perfect.
Feel a 1.
Okay.
So I have it on the edge,
Which way?
right edge.
Good.
I feel a 2.5.
Okay.
A strong 2.
Strong 2, okay. Okay, now when you read these putts, make sure you stay with your toes at the ball, because when you back up, it's going to give you too much break. So
Okay.
read it with your toes at the ball and get your picture with the toes of the ball.
Okay. That's a ball outside the right edge.
Okay? Okay? The make percentage from 5 feet on PGA Tour is 80%. So the best players in the world will make 4 out of 5 of those putts.
Okay.
Now that we've learned how to feel slope and to create a picture of what the break is on short putts, we're going to go through a personal calibration process to make this read as accurate as possible for you as an individual.
For accurate reads on short putts, it's important to get your reads with your toes at the ball and align your fingers to the lower edge of the hole.
Now that we understand how to use the express read, we have to calibrate for our own personal body sizes to make it as accurate as possible. This calibration method will also let you adjust for different green speeds and for different ball speeds. To help us do that, we have Mark, Maggie, and Justin, who are all different heights and have different arm lengths. Once we go through this process, they're all going to see the exact same break once we get the same slope number. This board represents how much the ball breaks across a 3 slope at 5 different green speeds. You can see at stimp 12, the ball breaks almost twice what it does at stimp 8, but we still are only going to hold up 3 fingers. So in order to see the break correctly, we have to change our arm position and either bend or straighten our arm to get the right picture. We're going to have our 3 players go through this process so that they all see the correct break no matter what the green speed is. Okay, what I want you all 3 to do is hold up 3 fingers, put the left edge of your finger on the flagstick, and the right side should be roughly on the 8 for green speed of 8. Is that roughly where you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Now bend it until it comes into 10. So as the greens get faster, you'll bring your hand closer to your face and you'll see more break.
Oh.
Good?
Yep.
Okay. And now bring it in and go all the way to 12. Good. Okay. Roughly a stimp 8 will be a straight arm, a stimp 10 will be a 45-degree bend, and a stimp 12 will be a 90-degree bend. But it really depends on the length of your arms and the size of your hands. Good. So this is roughly how you calibrate for green speed. If we need more break on a putt, we bend our arm more. If we need less break, we straighten, just like zooming a camera in and out. Okay, you can also use this as a method to calibrate for your ball speed. So if you want to hit the putt firm, you can go a little straighter. And if you want to hit the putt a little softer, you can go a little more bend with it. Everybody have a rough understanding of calibration?
Yes.
Okay. It's important you understand that calibration is a dynamic process. It's not a fixed process. We never really know the correct stimp, so this is really a trial and error method. The idea is you really get it correct by hitting putts. In other words, you go out and you assume the green speed's an 8, let's say. You start with a straight arm. If you're missing low, bend your arm more. If I'm missing everything high, I need to straighten my arm a little bit. We're really calibrating to break more than green speed. The green speed can also change during your round. So you might start off in the morning straighter and you might have more bend later as the green starts to dry up. It's a dynamic process. Allow yourself to react naturally to that. So as you go out on the putting green and you hit putts, just naturally let your arm change until the picture you get matches the break. Now that you understand calibration, we're going to apply what we've learned to our birdie putts, which are putts from 7 to 20 feet. These putts you really need to be dialed in if you want to make these putts versus just getting close. Now we're going to take what we learned on short putts and apply them to our medium range putts, or what we call our birdie putts. It's typically between 7 to 20 feet. 2 things we're going to do different. Because the slope can change on longer distances, we're not going to get our slope of the ball. We're going to walk roughly halfway up and get our slope number there. So we'll start at the ball just to feel the low side. So here I'm tilted to the right. So I'm going to walk in on the right side roughly halfway and get my number there. Here I feel a 4. I'm going to take my 4 back to the ball. And now the only other difference is I'm going to hold on my hand, but I'm going to line up the lower edge on the flagstick this time. It's not going to be on the lower edge of the hole. It's going to be on the flagstick itself, or the center of the hole. That's going to give me the correct break for our medium range putts. Once I get my read, then I'm aiming on this side of my hand. And I'm going to turn and hit it there. Justin, you want to take us through it?
Sure.
Okay. So start at the ball, feel your low side. Okay. Walk in on the low side because we don't want to step in our line. How much slope do you feel? 4? 4, okay. Bring 4 back to the ball. Get your picture. Roughly how much break do you see?
About 3 feet.
About 3 feet of break on this, okay? Good. Now just pick your spot. Okay. It's a good putt. The read was really good. A little bit short.
Now what if I like to see, instead of the point, what if I like to see the path or the curvature of the ball?
Yes, so we have a method that we can use our hand to also see the actual curve of the putt or the entry points into the hole. I'm going to get behind the ball, turn my hand up, put the top finger in the hole, and now I'm going to drop my hand and turn it at the same time, like a door hinge. And it's going to create a curve on the ground. That's the actual curve that the ball takes on its way to the hole. So you can see exactly where the ball is going. Okay, good putt. Thanks. Now we're going to go to a slightly different putt for Maggie. We're going to do a 10-foot downhill putt with less break. Let's come on over here. So there's about a 10-footer. There's going to be less side slope, but go ahead and go through the same process.
Okay.
On these straighter putts, it's very important that you start the ball to get the low side correct.
Yeah, right side.
Okay?
Not much though.
Not much.
It's more downhill.
What kind of slope do you feel?
It's about one.
Okay, one sideways.
Yeah.
Downhill, but only one sideways.
More downhill than side hill.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Small number. So hold up. One finger. One finger shows you roughly how much break.
A cup out.
Okay, good. Great putt. Very good. Which side is low? Hit the ball. Left side. Okay. Walking on the left side. Now be careful where your line is because you're almost in your line right here. So just go a little lower. Okay.
2.
All right. Good putt. Awesome. Where do you go? Magster.
Left to right.
Lot of slope in the
A
ball, right?
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Feel like a 5.
Okay. 5. 5 and downhill.
Yeah, 5 and downhill.
Awesome putt. Awesome putt. Now it's important that you understand the make percentages that you're expected to make from this distance. So from 10 feet on PGA Tour, they only make about 1 in 3. Justin, your putt at 15 feet, they only make about 1 in 5. Best players in the world. And at 20 feet, they're only making about 1 in 10. So don't get frustrated if you're only making a couple out of 3 putts, because that's actually really, really good putting. So just to recap, always start behind the ball and get your low side first. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people walk in and they haven't figured out which way the slope goes yet, and so they go on the wrong side. Another thing is to make sure you're always the same distance behind the ball. Make sure you always set up the same way every time. Okay? Walk roughly halfway in, get your slope number there, and then bring that back to the ball and get your picture. And your read's finished. Okay. Now we're going to take that and we're going to expand that out to long putts and double breaking putts. So outside 20 feet, the slope's going to change more, and we have to modify our process just slightly to get those right.
To get accurate reads on birdie putts, you must get your slope read in the middle of the putt and align your hand at the center of the hole.
Now we're going to extend our level of understanding to long putts, where we can have lots of slope changes in between. Imagine this was the whole length of the putt, from the ball to the hole. We want to go to the middle section, or what we call the middle third of the putt, and get the biggest number. So the way we do this is we walk a third of the way into the putt, we get a number there, then we go about halfway through, get another number, and then we go 2/3 of the way, and we get the final number there. And whatever's the biggest number, we use all the way from the ball. Maggie, do you want me to show you how to do this? Okay. All right, so we'll walk in, we'll stop about a third of the way in, get your first number there.
1.
Okay. Go roughly halfway in, get another number.
1.
1, okay. And what do we get in towards the end of that middle section?
2.
2. Okay, so we got 1, 1, and 2. We're going to play 2
2.
the whole way, the biggest number. really good putt.
Thank you.
Now, what's your job on a long putt? This is almost 50 feet long. What's your job
A
here?
longer putt like this, I just want to get the ball close to the hole.
Right, we want to hit it within 2.5 feet or so we can two putt it.
Yeah.
Statistically, tour players only make between 2 and 5% of these putts, but they'll three putt more than they one putt. So our job is to get it really close, have a stress-free two putt, and then move on.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, now we're all going to go practice a little bit, make sure we understand these concepts. Okay, let's pick a spot and we'll practice our long putt reads. Starting at the ball, very good idea. Figure out which way it's going. 1/3 of the way in. What number?
1,
1. Okay.
3,
3. Jumped up a lot there. And a little deeper into the putt. What happens?
4,
4. So 1, 3, 4. We're going to play 4. Okay.
Oh.
Really good putt. Read was perfect. Your speed was 2 inches short. Great putt from here.
Thanks.
Let's pick a spot.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Not much here.
Not much here.
A little left to right.
Okay. So walk in on the right side to be safe.
So
Go about 1/3 of the way. That's good.
it's about 1 here.
Okay.
So middle. Here's about a 3.
3. Okay, good. Does it change as you go deeper into the putt?
A 2, strong 2. So it's
Okay.
still 3 is the biggest number.
Correct. It's really good. Really good putt, a little bit short, but the read was right on. Good. Justin, let's read this putt from here. Sitting left, okay.
One,
Okay, not much, right?
not much. Also 1.
Also one downhill now, but only a one side hill.
This feels a tad more, not quite a 2, I would call it a 1.5.
Okay, let's play 1.5. If you want to play defensively, you could play a 2 for safety, but it's your decision.
Stay there. Ah. Wow, it zips at the hole.
So close. It was definitely at least a strong one. Again, if you're ever unsure on a long putt, round up and use a larger number. If you play a bigger number and miss high, the ball will stop closer to the hole than if you play too low of a number and it goes below the hole. Okay? So as a recap, we go to the biggest break in the middle third of the putt. The biggest mistake people make is that they go all the way to the center point of the putt to try to get a read, and sometimes if the biggest break is early, they'll just go right past it and miss it. You can also go farther into the putt. If the putt gets steeper towards the hole, we want to go deeper into the putt and use something about 2/3 of the way through. Okay, so be flexible about where you get your read. Look for the biggest slope, feel your biggest slope, and use that for the whole way. Okay, now that we know how to do long single breaking putts, I have to show you how to do double breaking putts. Let me show you how to do that now.
When reading greens on lag putts, get your read along the middle third of the putt, between the ball and the hole. Use the biggest slope value. And remember, if in doubt, round up to a bigger number.
Now we're going to learn how to read double breaking putts. The easy method to do this is to walk exactly halfway between the ball and the hole and use that slope value for the entire putt. This is a very reliable read and allow you to read these putts very quickly. All right, Mark, do you want to come with me and I'll show you how to do this?
Sure.
Okay. So let's walk in here and try to get exactly halfway between the ball and the hole. Kind of look back and forth so it looks like you're in the middle. Okay, now what slope do you feel there?
I feel a 5.
Okay, good. Let's go play 5 all the way from the ball. That is so good.
Get in, get in.
That's a great putt. Really good putt. Really good read also. You guys did a great job. Thanks, Mark, Justin, Maggie, for all your help today. The number one thing to practice is feeling slope. If you feel slope and are confident in picking a slope number, all your reads will be very easy no matter what golf course you play on. And you should be great green readers within just a couple days. The last thing we have to do is go understand the rules of golf and how they apply to the express read. We want to make sure that we use this correctly so that we don't get penalized.
For the most efficient reads on double breaking putts, use the slope in the center of the putt. And if you're in doubt, favor the section with the biggest slope.
When using the Aim Point Express read, it's very important that you're mindful of the rules of golf. Rule 16-1A says that you can't intentionally walk in the path of your putt. Now what that means is I can't be walking where I think the ball is going to be rolling. The reason we start at the ball to get the low side first is that if I walk in on the low side below my line of play, which is defined as a straight line from ball to hole, I'm always safe because the ball will always be either on that line or higher than that line. So as long as you stay below that, you won't be in violation of the rules. However, this is a 5 slope, so I think the ball is going to be rolling much higher up the slope. It's perfectly within the rules for me to step up higher like this. Even though I'm above my line of play, I'm still below where I think the path of the ball will be. So keep in mind where you think the ball is going to be and just make sure you're always below it. Here I feel a 5. I'm going to play that. Now that you understand the basics of Aim Point Express, you should be able to go to any golf course in the world and be successful using it. If you want to further develop your understanding, contact a certified instructor. You can find them on my website at aimpointgolf.com.
For more information on putting aids that will help you with your express read, go to our virtual store at aimpointgolf.com.
The best players in the world use the Aim Point Express method. Now that you understand it, you're on your way to mastering the greens just like the pros.